What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Kingdom of Giants, episode 3. We missed week 3. I'm your host, Brandon. I'm here with the GOAT, Jackson. We're actually going to break down week 3 and week 4. But yeah, we had 1 week that was good, and another week that was good. We're going to go to the Cowboys game because that's more recent. So just to do a quick breakdown, Giants lost 20-15, didn't score a single touchdown. Daniel Jones was 29 for 40 for 281 yards, no touchdowns and a pick. Don't let those numbers fool you. Out of 100, his QBR was 59.8. That is a failing grade. Against one of the worst rushing defenses in football, Devin Singletary was only 14 for 24 for an average of 1.7. Malik Neighbors was amazing again before he got knocked out cold. 12 for 115 on 15 targets. Wandale had a great game, 11 catches, 71 yards, also on 14 targets. Defense was pretty good. Brian Burns failed to record a pressure, but was in the backfield the entire game. Kayvon Thibodeau finally had a good game. Yes, he didn't.
Finally, good. Keep going.
He didn't record a sack, but he was causing havoc all day. Maybe he listened to us. He wasn't using the bull rush all the time. He did finally get a lot of holdings called on him. The Giants, I'm going to give it to you, Jackson, but the big issue is the Giants cannot finish drives. That's the issue. Take it away.
We can't finish drives, plus the fact that we had, even watching the game, and if you don't even agree with me on this, the Giants had the Cowboys number. I'm sorry. We were going to score on a drive that Tracy Jones, the running back.
Tyrone Tracy,
my bad. Tyrone Tracy. Like, he's a junior, my bad. He almost had a...
He's a rookie. He's a
rookie. Rookie mistake. I understand that. We move on. We get past that. But why is it that we can't score not a field goal, a touchdown? It always comes to that. It's like, yes, we kick field goals all day, every day. That's great to stay in the game. But in order to win games, we need to be able to score on touchdowns. We made so many mistakes that stopped us from touchdowns. I'm not going to say it's Daniel Jones' fault for us not getting those touchdowns because he was driving. But at the same time, he was doing Daniel Jones stuff. Not getting into it. I'm not going to curse right now because I'm not wasting my time on him. But what I'm seeing with the New York Giants is we can't capitalize on plays. Just these itty-bitty plays. I get it. We slip up 1 or 2 times. All right, let's lock in. When you have the ball in your hand and then it just falls out, I forgot who it was because I was in class watching it, and
Slayton had a big drop.
I think it was Slayton.
He had a big drop.
It was either Slayton or who was it?
I believe
Robinson.
I do believe it was Slayton because it was. I did hear he did have a big drop while I was at the game.
He had a drop, and Wandale Robinson
can't jump.
Dude, I just don't understand. Like, we as a team, we know what we can do. A couple years ago, we went to the playoffs, wild card, and we won. We won with Daniel Jones, and since then, we haven't even lived up to that hype yet. We haven't looked that good. It's to me, not beyond like stupid, but it's just like, what is it gonna take? What is really going to take for the New York Giants to get back into that zone and back into playoff predictions? Let's scrap Super Bowl out the proportion because we're not there yet. But when is the New York Giants finally going to be like, you know what? We need to start thinking big now. Not just 1 year, not 2 years. We need to think about a whole, maybe 5 years to see what we can do. As of right now, I feel like Daniel Jones should not be our quarterback in the coming next year. Yeah. He's not in. He tried. I give it to you. He did what you had to do. He's not looking like an elite quarterback. He's looking like a okie dokie. Still, to me, I can still call him maybe a little bit of a rook because he does rookie mistakes. How the hell do you throw with double coverage?
It's not just that, but It's Jalen Hyatt. The emphasis and the one thing that Daniel Jones we knew coming out of college could do was throw the ball deep. We saw it that rookie year as well. His first ever game, he hit some. It just seems like I don't know if he doesn't trust his knee to push off, but he's underthrowing everyone. Here's the thing: you have Jalen Hyatt, and that's going to be a topic that we'll touch on in a little bit. But the issue is, they're going to look at the stat line that he was 29 for 40 for 281 and a pick, and they're going to be like he was good. I would say like half of that was yards after the catch. He averaged 7 yards a throw. He's not throwing it deep. Yes, we had the long of 39 from Neighbors, but the issue is, first of all, shout out to Andrew Thomas. Shut down Micah Parsons. One pressure.
Look, the O-line, you have to clap it up for the O-line against the Cowboys. They did what they had to do. The boys did what they had to goddamn do that game. And they made sure that only one sack to Daniel Jones. I'm happy with that. Thank you, O-line. You guys should get some money. Maybe take it out of Daniel Jones' pocket. Give it to you guys and let you guys maybe buy something nice. Because you guys finally locked in saying that we know what we're going up against. We're going to give our team the chance to capitalize on some stuff. We're going to help out. And they did. It wasn't just for 2 quarters. It was the whole entire game. That made me happy. That gave me hope with the New York Giants. I was like, our O-line is actually starting to click now.
Is this what a good O-line looks like?
Finally. And I get it. I'm not going to put in what I wanted to say in that little part, maybe a running back that we had, but it is what it is. I'm happy with that part. The sad part is like you just put in Hyatt.
Yeah, and I want to
he
touch on that.
Doesn't even touch the field.
I don't know if that's a coaching thing. Like, yes, he was a 3rd-round pick. I believe he was out of Tennessee or Texas. He struggled with separation. The reason why Slayton is playing is people forget, Slayton ran a 4.35 or a 4.39. Slayton is very fast.
Yeah.
So remember, Hyatt dropped because he was really bad at the combine. I think he ran a 4.46 when he was 4.2 speed. The issue is, I don't know if he's not creating separation or if he just couldn't beat out these 3 receivers. But I don't know if this is, and you've heard me before. I say I don't want Joe Shane and Brian Dable to be fired at the end of the year. I like Joe Shane. I do.
I like him to a point.
But if you look at the last few drafts, there have been more misfires than hits. Now, I will say, the draft where we got Micah McFadden and all that stuff, that was great. But now, I'm going to still say this. Yes, Devin Singletary didn't do well. And Barkley, it's frustrating. But let's be realistic here. We all see what happens when running backs get paid a lot. I would love to have Barkley back on a decent offensive line. But the issue with Barkley is, when you don't have a quarterback that a team is scared of beating you, you can't run the ball. We beat the Browns because it's the Browns.
Defense came up clutch for us. That's just it. How many times we sacked homeboy in the backfield?
Well, it was 7 or 8, but all I know is 9 players on the Giants had at least half a sack.
Dude, with that being said, I mean, we're skipping off of last night's game. Yeah, Watson had it coming.
We'll go to week 3.
My God.
So, since we weren't able to cover that because Jackson and I were busy with school.
Yeah.
But let me pull up the stats from that game. So it was a 21-15 victory for the New York Football Giants.
First one.
Yes. Daniel Jones was 24 for 34, 2 touchdowns, 236 yards. Still, his QBR, remember, it's out of 100, was 73.3. Devin Singletary was 16 for 65 and 1 touchdown with a long of 43. That's 4.1 yards a carry. Malik Neighbors was 8 for 78, 2 touchdowns. Wandale 7 for 61. Singletary was also 4 for 33 or 4 for 43.
Yeah.
The New York Giants, they also fumbled 3 times, losing 2 of them. When it comes to the defense, the Giants recorded 8 sacks. 9 players recorded at least half a sack. Elijah Chapman had 1. Brian Burns had 1. Dexter Lawrence had 2. Nunez Roches had a half. McFadden and Okereke both had a half sack. Thibodeau had a half sack, and Azeez Ojulari finally did something. But before we get into that, I want to just talk about one thing. Deonte Banks needs to shut his damn mouth if he can't.
Thank you. Oh my God.
Here's the issue. You talk a lot of shit, and I'm going to use curse words here. You talk a lot of shit. You know what, Jackson, you take this way. I feel like you have, like, I want to hear what you got to say.
You're not. Give me a second. You're not Ramsey, kid. You're not Ramsey. You're Banks. That on your back plate it says Bank. It doesn't say that you could chat a lot like Homeboy can, right? And back it up sometimes. Every single time I see you go up against a star wide receiver, you start chatting up. Maybe a deflection, and then you do this stuff. You try to look cool, dap up your boys, do your signature, and then the next play, you get smoked, kid. You get smoked. You're not up there yet. You need to shut your little doggy mouth and play some freaking football, man. If that was me, I'm just saying, I know I talk crap. I know I will be talking.
You back it up, though. You back it up.
I'll back it up. I will back it up. But what he does is he talks crap to their star wide receiver, CeeDee Lamb. And to me, when you start talking crap to somebody who's having an off season, and I'll say CeeDee Lamb is having like a little off season. If nobody wants to agree with me, go ahead. I don't care. To me, he's having an off season. But the next play, he just flat out scored on him.
I will say the one thing there is Newbin took an awful route, but still, I have to agree. And you said it perfectly. You can, like, yes, you're locking up Terry McLaurin. Until that Monday night game, Terry McLaurin hadn't been that great. Do you want to also say it's the Commanders? Jaden Daniels is a rookie. He's going to be a star, but he's a rookie. The bigger issue is can he be good? Yes. But please, here's the thing. Malik Neighbors talk crap all week saying he's going to cook Trayvon Diggs. 11 catches or 12 catches, 111 or 15 yards until he got knocked unconscious. Again, people are blaming Diggs. That's just the play of the game. He was trying to hold on to the ball, head went into the turf. Speaking of that, news just broke. No other injuries for Malik Neighbors other than that concussion. We have 10 days, so we should be good. But we all know this. Do not talk crap if you cannot back it up.
Thank you. That I just
when he got cooked. Do you remember the memes after Eli Apple got cooked in the Super Bowl on the Bengals? Not the one of his mom, because I don't need please don't look that up. Do not look that up. Eli Apple's mom after the Super Bowl. It's some horrific pictures. They literally put up burnt toast. Burnt toast. That is what's happened, honestly, to Deonte Banks all year. If anything, you know who deserves praise? Cordell Flott. Besides last game, the game against the Browns, 10 total tackles, 7 of them solo. Cordell Flott has been a revolutionary guy at the number 2 cornerback that they got.
But just the issue is up at him
Banks
because
is
there's no
letting
way
everyone going past him, and that's the frustrating part.
And I want to say, if you haven't, I mean, to the people who watched it, every single time that I see Banks cover up a wide receiver, I feel like, and everybody else does their job. Oh, and a quarterback just looks in the pocket, goes, okay, he's cornered by him, he's cornered by him. Let me see Banks. It's always open. It's always open. I never seen Banks actually like on someone, unless it's like a weaker wide receiver or a weaker tight end. And then he's like, all right, I'm good. All right, I'm gonna lock in. But anytime it's a maybe an elite star or their star wide receiver, some way, some line, he will start talking. That little bark in him will start talking. That little puppy will start talking, and then all of a sudden the guy will look at him and be like, "All right, watch this. Watch this. Let me go on a slant. Let me go on a slant route." And what does he do? He gets burnt every single time. I'm sorry. If you're getting paid that much, you need to learn something about your position. And if you're saying like, oh, I'm getting burnt on a slant, how can I, be better? Maybe shut up, look at your film, see what you can do better, and not come out every single Sunday or Thursday and just be like, I'm just going to wing it. I'm just going to be up on them. I might get a tip ball here and there. I'm going to do my thing. No, Banks, we need you to actually look at your film, start learning how to be your position, and start coming up. Your last name is Banks. You're not getting nothing.
Right now, the bank is open. Right now, the bank is open. We want it closed. We need the bank. We need it closed.
It's closed on Sundays for a reason. So let's go. It's done. I don't want no more issues with Banks. Throughout this season, I need to see at least 5 interceptions come out of
maybe
Banks.
Just not picks, just like not getting cooked.
Deflections. I want to see deflections. I don't want to see you like, because sometimes when he does his little celebration, I look at the play, I'm like, no, Banks, it hit the freaking wide receiver right in his hands. He just didn't corral it.
He goes
it
up.
Wasn't your fault.
Guess who he goes up against next week?
We play next week. We play
Seattle. He goes up against DK. Here's the thing about DK. DK talks shit about Ramsey. He mossed him. DK also does sign language because he got fined, which I think is funny. Here's the thing. Say all you want about DK Metcalf and how he can't run actual routes. Boy, can he talk and can he back it up.
Yeah. DK, okay, fine. Maybe he can't run routes.
No, in terms of like I'm talking about, he's not like the shiftiest wide receiver, but that's not what he's done.
He's a voice. Do you see? Thank you. He's not going to be running all those quick. He's the type that he's going to be in his hands, and then there's going to be a couple defenders that have to get on him. You have to put 2 on him. Now, if Banks is going up against DK, I'm going to tell him as a head coach. If I was one of the head coaches, I would tell him man to man, you better shut the fuck up. I'm sorry with the language. You better shut up. Play your game for 4 quarters, lock his butt down, and if some way somehow he slips up and gets a touchdown, fine. But lock back in, and we can finally see if we have a good secondary. We can finally see that. And DK Metcalf, even though to me, I feel like the man is great. I feel like he's up. He's great. He's just not slipping, but he does a lot of. How can I say it? He does a lot of chirping, but he backs it up.
That's the thing. If you're gonna talk, back it up. Simple.
So, besides that point, heading into next week, right? Next week we're going to Seattle. I don't think we're home, right? We're not.
No,
home.
we go to Seattle.
We go to Seattle, so that gives them time. If I was the defensive secondary, we gotta look at 2 things. We gotta look at how Geno Smith is going to be playing. Because I feel like Geno Smith is still on a tear. And
Geno Smith in the past couple weeks has been much better.
Much better. He looks like a great quarterback. I'm not saying system quarterback because he's not that.
System did change, so yeah.
He looks good. He looks good. He looks comfortable. We got to start making noise. I get it. Our record is not that good. It is not that. I think we're last now. I think we're last in our division.
You know what I just realized? We haven't scored over 21 points in a single game. 18, 20.
We had only one.
I think we got more field goals.
Yeah.
Points on field goals than touchdowns this year.
We need to. There has to be some way the New York Giants find a way to get more touchdowns. I'm not talking about luck touchdowns. I'm not talking about 2 defenders missed the tackle and then that's a score. No, I'm talking about you're in the pocket, you throw it, touchdown. We have none of that. What, 1 game? And then everybody's like, oh, we're back. No, we're not back. They're not back. They're literally not back. And it comes down to a couple components. You can say Daniel Jones. You can say the offensive coordinator. You can say all these things. But as a New York Giants fan, you should be not pissed, but curious into where are we going? Where is our head at? Where is the mission of this year's football team? Because this mission – Before the season happened, I thought the mission was we're coming back to the playoffs with hunger. I thought that would be the mission. We had the same team, almost the same exact team as last year.
Yeah,
maybe they got a little bit better over the summer. And
I would say they got better on the defensive side of the ball, and honestly, you could say offensively because of Malik Neighbors. We can,
but that's the thing. That's our, and I'm gonna say it. That's our OBJ. That's our OBJ.
That is completely valid. That is completely valid.
I see his moves, and I'm like, oh my god! Like,
just don't make sure he doesn't get near a kicking net. That's all I ask. Just don't get near the kicking net.
Look, all I ask is for him to keep his smile on, even when the ball doesn't go to him, even when he gets a deflection and the defense starts talking to him. He was smiling. Diggs was talking to neighbors last night, and you see him just smile when his grill's in. That's what I like. Because in my mind, I feel like, okay, he knows that he's going to make another play on him, and he's just going to let it go down. He's going to be like, all right, cool. You got me on that one. All right, Chief, you got me on that one. Watch it back. Watch it back. So,
12 for 115.
Dude, I love it. I love it. But this is the thing. We can't rely on one star wide receiver to bring us to a playoffs. We gotta rely on other people. I get it. Not neighbors. I almost said neighbors. Robinson as well. He's also a shifty wide receiver.
He's a perfect slot guy.
Perfect slot guy. We do have Slayton. I get that, but we need to add. Oh my God, I was gonna say his name wrong. He's not playing. Jalen
Hyatt.
Not Jalen Hyatt. My bad.
Yeah, Jalen Hyatt.
Jalen Hyatt. I need to see something. If we're down by 15, well, not 15. If we're down by 10, 14, 21, it's time to switch up the offense. Maybe take Slayton out. Put him in. Hyatt. He's fast. I know he's fast. Some of the plays of last year was glimpses of what he can do for the New York freaking Giants.
That Cardinals game, that one throw that Jones made. Here's the thing. The bigger issue, I know the emphasis all offseason was throwing the ball deep. What we've seen so far is Daniel Jones is underthrowing everything. Neighbors saved him last week because he mossed Denzel Ward. That's the issue. And we all know this. Daniel Jones, unless he goes on this Cinderella run, is gone at the end of the year. Now, I have a hot take. You're going to like this. Ready?
All right.
Remember what the Texans did last year when they had the number 2 pick and took Stroud and then traded up to number 3?
Yeah.
What if the Giants did that? They traded up, got a quarterback, and then got Travis Hunter as a corner. I think in the end, Travis Hunter should probably be a corner. I like Deonte Banks. Don't get me wrong.
Look,
but I don't think he's a number 1 corner right now for what I've seen. Travis Hunter says he doesn't care where he goes.
See, I like that. I like that as a player. He just wants to get in the NFL.
He did say he wants to go to the Denver Broncos. I get that. He's played in Colorado.
That's crazier. He wants to stay in I was gonna say Colorado.
Oh, bro, imagine that. But just think of that. Patrick Surtain and Travis Hunter. That's the best cornerback. But anyway,
let's go back to us because we're not Denver Broncos.
So,
whatever their nicknames are.
The big issue with the Giants right now, here's the thing, and you're only going to go as far as no, it's not that. You're only going to go. I mean, let's be honest. They held the Cowboys to 21 points.
The Cowboys. Say that again. So
they held the Giants. If we look at it, yes, we've played. The Vikings, Commanders, Browns, and Cowboys. Not the biggest offenses, but no one has scored 30 over us. I mean, to be fair, Deonte Banks did get torched by Justin Jefferson. But anyway, the other 3 teams, they've held, but you're only going to go as far as your quarterback. And it's too much inconsistency. I was watching the game. There were so many times that there were intermediate throws that Jones just was too afraid to pull the trigger on. And you have Daniel Jones, we know here are the sum of the tools he has. He can get the ball out quick and has good velocity. He was able to throw it deep. We also haven't seen him use his legs as much. What made him so good when we made the playoffs was he's using his legs.
I mean, during the game, he did. There were some plays that he did read option and then run it off and got the first down. But it was like the first down and maybe 2 more yards, and that was pretty much it. It wasn't like he did the play and he broke for like
a bootleg.
15. Yeah. So in coming with Dan Jones and you saying if he has a Cinderella story type, it's not happening. My predictions for the Giants this year, I thought they would have been great. It's not going to happen.
I think honestly, what I predicted is probably going to happen. I said 4-13, but to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if we win 2 games.
It's going to be sad.
Right now, the only other game I can see us potentially winning is the Panthers game.
If we lose to the Panthers,
it depends.
Because now Andy, oh my God,
Dalton, the Red Rifle.
Thank you. He took over, and me and my brother had this conversation because he was mad that I was getting on Bryce, and I'm like, dude, he sucks. And he was like, no, and he's a Bama fan. He was like, no, they're not giving him a shot, yada yada yada. And I was like, man, what happens if Dalton wins the game with the Panthers. What do you have to say? And he was like, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Look at the team. And when it happened, I just looked at him. I was like, I'm going to call my brother. His phone was on silent. He didn't want to hear
it was
from me.
And that's the thing, and I'll actually clip this for the NFL thing. It was the same offensive group. It wasn't like it was anything different.
The same offensive group.
And it was just a team that just beat the Ravens. Now, to be fair, that's not that hard because John Harbaugh and whoever is calling the plays is scared to run the ball with Derek. What they did against the Cowboys was better, but that's another topic.
I'm not going to tell you about me being on a suicide watch for that game.
Hey, okay. Lamar shouted you out for that. That was funny that he mentioned that. Like, that was really funny that he said in the post game, he was like, now we here at Comment, we don't joke about that, but we're going to mention the Lamar thing. He was like, I know if we lost, a lot of our fans would be on suicide watch. And then Lamar started quote tweeting people saying that stuff. That's funny.
But dude, because they were, because it was like they were winning the game.
It was almost another
little side. They were about to lose again. I'm like, yo, what's going on? They were driving on the Cowboys. And then now you're like, you know what? Put off the gas. We got this. I saw Lamar. This is when I knew they were like in like a uh-oh situation. Lamar was relaxing on the sideline bench, right? They scored a touchdown. You see Lamar, the camera pans to Lamar, and he's on the bench just chillaxing and like, all right, I'm about to go back on, right? And they kick an offside kick. Zay Flowers mishandles it. They get the ball back, and you saw in his face like a uh-oh, like shoot, we might have to go in OT, but thank you God that Derrick Henry did not fumble that ball.
Derrick on the drive.
He's incredible, but Harbaugh. But besides me being a Giants fan, for your fans, for your Ravens fans, for your Ravens community, run the ball. Run the ball. Don't start up in a shotgun formation and then flip it off to Derrick Henry.
He is a pistol running back. They mentioned it. I think you watched the same video I did. He is a pistol running back. You don't need to put a fullback in there. No. But yeah, back to the Giants. Here's what the Giants need to do. Daniel Jones will be gone at the end of the year, and we're going to wrap it up here because
thank you, God. Thank you, God. Can you say that again? Because I think my prayers are answered.
Daniel Jones, unless he wins every single game the rest of the year and turns into Patrick Mahomes, Daniel Jones is gone at the end of the year. The Giants are going to cut him. They're going to take that money back. They'll draft a quarterback.
Thank you. But who?
There's several options. Honestly, it just depends on what they want. If they want to take the big risk on here's the three options in my opinion. Cam Ward is one of them. Carson Beck, and then you're gonna call me crazy. Oh, what's his name? It's the guy from Ole Miss. Oh, what's his name?
That's not me. That's not me, Chief.
I can look it up. Ole Miss QB. Jackson Dart. Okay, so now I'm not going to say Shador, and here's why. I don't think Shador, the Giants are interview him, and they'll be like, you know what? Not a fit. Here's the thing. New York media is brutal. But anyway, if you want Cam Ward, that's more of a project. Think of it like a Jaden Daniels or an Anthony Richardson with better accuracy. It's going to take a bit. Carson Beck is the most NFL-ready guy.
He's NFL ready, though.
Jackson Dart's just...
I saw a couple of games of him. He's okay. He's like the type of guy that if you're down.
Oh wait, also Quentin Ewers before he got hurt, Quentin Ewers took a massive step too.
He's from the Texas, right?
Texas, yeah. But who knows if he's going to start again after Arch?
I think because Archie Manning is doing phenomenal. I mean, he threw that one interception, that one drive, and then he just kept on doing Manning stuff. I mean, if we can hold out for him, then I'll be fine.
Here's the thing. I was going to say that, but the Mannings want him to finish 4 years, meaning he would have been eligible in 2026. Now he's not going to be eligible if he does his 4 years till 27. I don't want to wait that long. But yeah, there's a bunch of quarterbacks. Giants will have their pick.
I want Shador. I know you. I know that with the media, with the Giants, and like it could get to you. I want Shador. It's not going to happen.
Also, that's if he. Here's the thing. I think a bunch of my hate on Shador is not because of Deion. If you're going to talk shit, like the amount of times he's thrown his team under the. Now, people getting pissed at him for leaving that game when there was 2 minutes left. He was brutalized that entire game. They needed to check if he had a concussion. That I get. Yeah.
But besides that, he threw some of his teammates on the. I understand.
That's the one thing that just like that rubs me the wrong way.
You can't do that in the NFL. As a quarterback, you cannot do that in the NFL because that looks as like, okay, you're not a leader. You're just gonna be like, nah, it was not my fault.
That's my biggest thing. A quarterback is your leader. You need
Exactly.
so unless
He
now,
changes,
yeah,
and then unless they see something in him, which I do see something in him because
the raw talent is absolutely
it's there.
there.
It's there. Even with a bad old line, he's still, for some reason, they're winning games. The last game, right, was in pouring rain, threw it to one of his wide receivers, wide open, and then before the touchdown, it slipped. And everybody was like, oh, they're gonna lose, they're gonna lose. And Shador, he was just chilling. He was just, all right, next play. Flings it again. In my mind, I was like, this kid is ready. But he needs to also figure out what his role is, not throwing people on the bus, maybe shutting his mouth a little bit. I get it. It sucks to lose. I get it. You don't want to, point fingers at anybody, but that's the thing. You can't do that. You can't be like, oh, it's because they messed up. It wasn't me. The offense did. No, bro. No. You take it step by step. You had a bad day. You had a bad game, a very bad game, which even against Nebraska, was it?
The Hail Mary game was against Baylor.
No. I'm talking about the bad game.
That was against Nebraska. At first, that pick six. At first, he said the offensive line, but you watch the playback. Now, here's the thing. The thing I think of is I'm not going to compare him to Cam Newton, but in Cam Newton's podcast, also everyone watch that podcast. It's great. Cam Newton regrets how he handled the Super Bowl press conference and how he handled that play. That's the accountability. That is what right now Shador doesn't have. And I know Deion's going to be hard on him like he is, but maybe it would have been a little bit more different because Deion, at the end of the day, it's in his nature. He's going to subconsciously protect his kids. Anyone would. Anyone clowning on him for that is wrong. Now, it's not like Shador doesn't deserve to be a quarterback. Shador has some great talents. It's just we saw what happened with Desmond Ridder. He was a third-round pick. Should have been. He dropped to the 5th round because of the Netflix special 6 years ago. They still had that for him from 6 years. If there's like one or two more blow-ups like this, he could fall out of the top 10.
If that does happen. I don't think he's gonna do it. I bet Neon Deion talk to him and be like, hey, Mike, you want to go to the NFL? You want that first round pick?
He's definitely a first round. Now, here's the thing, but back to the Giants. I think they'll still interview Shador. I just don't think he'll be a fit unless this personality changes because the New York media is ruthless.
Out of all places,
just look at what the Yankees. Some great play. Randy Johnson, one of the greatest pitchers of all time, couldn't handle New York.
Got chewed out by the media. Got chewed out.
He punched a photographer. Again, that guy was in his face. Anyway, but
look,
some people can't handle it. Some people can. The best case of handling it is Giancarlo Stanton. He has been when we first got him, he was terrible. Media was ruthless. He handled it well. How will Shador, because without his dad to block certain media outlets, be able to handle it? Got the social media talk. You got everything. That's why, you know what? I have a really hot take.
Go on.
Should be at there. It's kind of like it's gonna feel like it's communism, but no. Honestly, I don't think these guys should be able to just tweet and stuff when they're rookies. Focus on football. Like, I'm not saying ban them, but I feel like it'd be a smart idea if, you know what, lay off. Because here's the thing: people are assholes. People are assholes.
You have, as a quarterback, and I love that we're going into this. As a quarterback, as a rookie quarterback, you guys are going to get a lot at you. Even if you win, lose, there's going to be criticisms like, oh, you could have thrown that ball better. Oh, you shouldn't have never thrown that interception. We couldn't have, whatever the message is. To rookies, I would say give it a 42-hour weight limit, then go on social media.
I agree.
42 hours, not 20, not 24, 42, 40 hours, whatever hours.
We're not good at math here.
I'm dyslexic, so it is what it is. But at the same time, we just need them to be. I would say to all rookies, they should at least have somebody handling their social media, because going on tangents, it's not good for them. and that bumps them down in being in the spotlight that they have. Like, I understand that you might have lost a game and people might ridicule you. You went 0 for like maybe 11, had 10 sacks or on you, fumbled, whatever. Look, everybody has a bad day. You learn from that. Now, if you did it like a couple times, then I'm like, okay, I'm a little worried. But the rookies need to understand that people are gonna get on them. Everybody's not gonna love you. You gotta understand that coming in. Everybody's not gonna love you. And even if you have 90% of love, 10% hate, that 10% can really fuel you up. So my message out there, if anyone who's gonna be a rookie next season, is to calm down, stop getting emotional, focus on you and what you can do better for your team. And then those criticisms just go away. They go away when you do your job. That's what happens. So that's all I got to say with the rookies. Do your job. Don't listen to the criticism right now. Do your job. Focus on your year. Look back on what you did bad. Improve from it. And you'll be all right.
Simple as that.
Simple as that.
And so, Giants, we're going to be drafting a quarterback now. Who knows if it's going to be with Dable? I think they should have given Dable a chance to get like a brand new quarterback, and we'll see. But hey, game was competitive. At least we weren't blown out.
Competitive.
At least we weren't blown out. So as much as it was an improvement from last year from the 40-0 blowout.
Look, if we could be that competitive with the Cowboys, and some way, somehow, Daniel Jones gets us like to a playoffs, and we have to go against the Cowboys, I'm putting in Giants winning. I'm putting it in. Putting it in.
What would happen if we actually had a good quarterback?
I don't think we're even gonna have this conversation. I don't think we're gonna have the. And before we leave it, Jerry Jones, with your comment.
We do have one more thing. So. It's been an interesting week for Jerry Jones. He says last week that they didn't have enough money to afford Derrick Henry. Just want to say something. Cowboys have $28 million in a salary cap free right now. Derrick Henry would cost like $8 to $10 million on the salary cap. You could have afforded him. You could have. You just didn't want to pay him.
You didn't want to pay him.
The guy literally said he wanted to play for the Cowboys. He said openly, I want to play for the Cowboys. The salary cap is an imaginary thing. The Saints have showed that. They've been 98 over the cap and have gotten under it. You just didn't want to pay him because you just didn't want to pay him.
You didn't want to pay him because probably he was going to ask for more money after the.
He literally said he said he would ask for less to be a Cowboy. And
that's crazy. If you're a GM and you hear somebody who's with that talent say, I'll go with less to be a Cowboys fan, even though I hate the Cowboys, Jerry, pick up the phone. But guess what? You didn't, and you got your butt whooped. Well,
Jerry's too worried about scouting people and putting down their cock size.
He did that to his running back or something?
I don't know. All I know is it was with Jamie Foxx, and they were talking about their players. First of all, how the hell do you know what size cock your players have? That's some information we don't need to know. I mean, we already know what Dax looks like because his dick pic was leaked.
Thank you, God, I'm on Twitter. Thank you, God, I'm on Twitter that much because
this was like 3 years ago, bro. Shit's small. Anyway,
okay,
Jerry Jones, you are a billionaire.
You could do something with it, but
I'm all in. He said he was all in, though. All in what?
On what?
Looking at your players' dicks.
That's what he's doing. That maybe
he probably wants it all.
That's what he does. That's what he does. He's like, "Oh, whoever has the biggest dick, you're on the team." Maybe he does that. Anyway, what Jerry Jones said about Daniel Jones is just beyond me. I was very impressed with the Giants. I thought their quarterback was was better than what I thought. How the heck can you say that?
Yeah.
How the heck can you say? I'm not even going down to whatever he said after that, but I'm just taking that little bit. How the hell do you say that? You know damn well that's a little goof that you just said out to the New York Giants about Daniel Jones being good. You just want the New York Giants to play stupid, play dumb, and be like, oh, a top-notch GM told us that our quarterback is actually good than he thought.
I also think
Maybe
it's Jerry trying to make his team look
look
better than they
better
are
than he.
because
Yeah,
they didn't play well. Here's the thing. I also believe owners, of course, he should have like a say. Look at what John Mara does. And we saw it on Hard Knocks. At the end of the day, he let Joe Shane do what he wanted to do. He wanted Saquon back, but he knew for the right price. At the end of the day, we gave the same offer Saquon got the year before he got it from the Eagles, and he said he would call us back. He didn't. Again, it is what it is. As I said, they turned losing Saquon into 2 offensive linemen and Devin Singletary. I'll take that. But shut up, Jerry.
like his name is. You are a Jerry. Shut up.
Exactly.
Shut it.
Hire an actual GM. The reason why the Cowboys haven't done anything since then is because you don't have a great team. First of all, when they drafted the big 3, Jerry had no say in that. I think that was right before he took over. No, they were with the team and then he took over.
No.
Since then, they haven't sniffed the Super Bowl. A lot of other teams have, because guess what? Does Robert Kraft control who Bill Belichick and everyone went after? No. Does the owner of the 49ers dictate what they're going at? John Lynch going after? No.
No. It's just Jerry. And then the minute they get a good GM, maybe
that, or when Jerry reaches his expiration date. And I'm not saying that in a
I saw the Slim Reaper yesterday with him. I thought he was right next to him when I was watching them pan to Jerry, because he looked like he was a little bit sad. And I'm like, oh, snap.
Well, I mean, when your team, like, we're not saying this in a mean way.
Not saying
but the reality is Jerry's not going to relinquish control of player development and player management decisions until he passes away. And for the football world, it'll be a sad day. As much as I hate him, he's a revolutionary guy, whatever. But he's not going to relinquish. He loves control.
And guess what happens with that? You get a little stingy. He don't win games, homeboy.
Look what happened to Anakin Skywalker. The minute he tasted power, he didn't want to let it go.
He didn't want to let that.
The Emperor Jerry Jones is Emperor Palpatine. He thinks he's all great, but doesn't realize that other people are doing things better than him.
Look, if he just one day just woke up and just be like, you know what? I want to be a new person. Let me just, still have a reign on them, but just loosen it up a little bit. Just a little bit.
He literally said, Shannon Sharp and Ocho said it on the nightcap. They're like, Jerry says, at the end of the day, there isn't a decision that doesn't get my approval. So Jerry makes the approval on every single decision, which honestly, if you were a Cowboys fan, that makes you think, what decisions has he said no to?
I can tell you there's a lot of decisions.
Exactly. I mean, also paying Dak $60 million. I mean, jeez.
As the quarterback that he is, and then people like compare his numbers to Patrick Mahomes, be like, oh, look, he's not even that off to Patrick Mahomes.
Dak is the best garbage time quarterback.
I'll put it like this way. Patrick Mahomes that's my bad. Dak Prescott, yeah, they might have similar stats, but there's a couple things that you're missing with those stats.
Just a couple.
Someone has a Super Bowl and the other doesn't.
The other hasn't even sniffed the NFC Championship game.
The reason why that's the reason. That's the reason why people keep on, like, in my mind, how many quarterbacks is the Cowboys going to go through until they find the one that sends them to the Super Bowl?
Hopefully
they couldn't
never.
do it with Tony. They couldn't do it.
Hopefully never, honestly.
And they spend how much money for them? Saying like, oh, it's just you had that one bad year. We'll get it next year. No.
The issue is Dak in the playoffs. I mean, if you saw, his stats were awful until the garbage time stuff. That's the thing and we're going to wrap it up here because Jackson and I could go down on the Cowboys. That sounds right. Jackson and I could shit on the Cowboys for as long as we live.
I can round up the Cowboys and just be like, look, we've been to the Super Bowl. We don't have more Super Bowls, but we have a recent more Super Bowl than you guys. You guys are in 19 something. We got 2000.
They haven't won since the 90s. They haven't been to an NFC Championship game since the 90s.
That sucks. And to the
Jacksonville Jaguars, who became a team after the Cowboys won their last Super Bowl, have been to an AFC Championship. I think they won in the second year of their existence, but way more recently than the Cowboys have. Blake fucking Bortles took, I don't care that it was Saxonville, Blake Bortles took the Jaguars to, and they should have went to the Super Bowl because Miles Jack was not down.
He was not down. Thank you. They were covering for freaking Tom Brady and the freaking Patriots. They were not supposed to be in the Super Bowl. That would have been sick, though. That would have been sick. And just to say that the Jags were more recent than you guys being close to a Super Bowl, that says something. I don't care that you guys win in the regular season. It only comes down to the playoffs, homeboy.
What Jackson? Please tell me something. What's every team's record when they make it to the postseason?
I think it has a 0 and then another 0. I think it starts out like that. I think that's where it goes to. And it's a whole sweep of it. It doesn't care. Whatever your record was, it doesn't matter. Because you know why? It comes down to one game, a whole maybe 2 hours of football, and see who is the best of the best this year. And to me, if all those Cowboys fans maybe looking at this, maybe looking at the TikTok one, want to come and press me about, oh, we're the best. We can beat the Eagles. We can beat the Giants. Okay. All right. That's cool now.
Everyone can beat the Giants.
Are you sure enough that your team can beat the Chiefs? Huh? Are you sure enough to beat them? Because in my mind, that's the goal in every team. Because we know the Chiefs are a dynasty right now.
Yeah.
Can you beat the Chiefs? And the answer is a God hell no. Besides that point, I don't even see the Cowboys doing anything. Let's just get off this Cowboy tangent because we're Giants. Let's leave it like this. In these next upcoming games, as a Giants fan, what I want to see, yes, I want to see a close game. Like I've been saying,
keep them close.
Keep it close.
We have
keep it entertaining.
Before we end, we have a gauntlet coming up. We have the Seahawks, then the Bengals, then the Eagles, then the Steelers, who that defense is going to test us, and then the Commanders again. We got a gauntlet. Keep the games close.
Okay, I'll put it like this. We got a 3-0 Seattle, right? Make it a close game. We might get 2-3. Bengals are 0-3. I can't even believe I'm saying this. They are 0-3. And can you say it again for the people in the back?
They didn't allow a single punt. They couldn't get off the field.
Okay, so with that being said, as a New York Giant fan, don't you think that maybe, just maybe, if we could keep it competitive, that could be another game that we would? Look at that. That's 3-3 right there. Look at that. The Giants record are 3-3. Now we're going against the Eagles. I'm not going to say that we're going to win this one, but make it competitive. Just to show that the Eagles, okay, you got this round, but we're going to come back later this season. You might get this round. Then we go against the Steelers. In my mind, I really thought the Steelers wanted to be at this moment. At this moment, they are still 3-0. I didn't put in my plan this season the Steelers to be this good. Well, a team that's 3-0. They're not good to a sense, but they're doing decent enough that they're 3-0. So with that being said, these next upcoming games, I'm looking forward. But if it's not competitive, if I don't see an energy with the whole quarters, I'm not talking about 2 quarters at halftime, you guys just relax and chill. No, foot on gas until the gas tank is on E, and then get some more energy and then beat the team up. I'm tired. I'm sick and tired of having these conversations saying that my New York Giants, they're going to be the best team, and they don't do nothing for me. And I look foolish because I always have hope. I always have hope.
I'm an optimist, and I got no hope, and that takes a lot.
Look, I have hope with this New York Giants. Now, if in these upcoming games, they got 4 games in October. With these upcoming games, if you give me, let's say, a 2-2, I'm fine with that. You win 2, you lose 2. I'm okay with that. But let's say you guys went 1 win and 3 losses.
I'll even take that. Just don't go 0-4.
Oh my god, no! I'm not even taking 0-4. 0-4. I might have to gut check Dables. I'm gonna be like, yo,
There's no gut anymore. He lost it all.
I'll hit his fat 6-pack, and I would be like, yo, what are you doing? Plans are not working this year.
He's on the hot seat. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up because we could keep going on for a while. But hopefully we come back to you in probably end up 2 weeks because they don't play till next Sunday with better news. But hey, Malik Neighbors is a star. That's all you need. He's
our star. Everybody just look. We got our OBJ back. I don't want to say like that, but like, it kind of it is like we finally got our star. Maybe this time we don't release him and give his.
Well, that was Dave Gettleman. That was Dave Gettleman. He's not back anymore, so we're good.
I want to punch him. Anyway. I want to see Hyatt. I want to see Hyatt in these games now, because you see that we're not winning. We're not winning that much. I feel like if we put him on maybe a couple plays here and there, just say like if Slayton needs a breather, rush him in, give him 3 plays, put 2 plays in that Hyatt can get open. Work your magic, Hyatt, because I still got hope. Last year, I saw a glimpse of, oh my God, like this kid is fast. This kid can catch. He can get shifty if he wants to. Let him have his moment. That's all I got to say.
All right. That'll do it for us. And we will see you guys in like 12 days, 11 days.
11 days.
lot. Oh, yeah. Go Giants.
Go